MJF made a phone call to start this week's episode of Dynamite. Riveting. Also, hello my friends and welcome to Ups and Downs, the review show for professional wrestling, which means I shall watch the sports entertainment when you can't be bothered. Or you can watch it and you come here and go, Simon, you don't know what you're talking about. And I say, Mum, I'm always happy you tune in. Let's up those downs. Anywho, going back to the opening sentence, this is why context is so important, because Maxwell was ringing Adam Cole, so all of a sudden it was like oodalally. Now, they couldn't really chat because, of course, Roderick Strong and the Kingdom turned up, and now they're just shouting, Max, Max, and he actually wants to help out MJF, because, of course, he's trying to get into his inner circle. I mean, they still basically accused him of being the man in the devil mask, but they are happy to take on the Bullet Club, when Maxwell Jacob Friedman essentially pushed them away, and I laughed. And this is when he turned to the camera and he just cut this fire promo on Juice Robinson. I mean, he also said that he was going to shoot him. So, of course, bring it down. There's a very early crime counter. You can't walk around saying things like that. MJF was just so damn good here because he did make you believe. And then we had this match, MJF versus Juice Robinson, and he won, which means he retains the diamond ring for what? The 5th year in a row? That is a pretty good record. There's no ring. It's also important to note as well, when he was done finished speaking, the man in the devil's mask appeared on the screen. So now I do not think that it is our scumbag. That'd be way too obvious. He also just got right in the ring and double-legged Juice Robinson because he's more of a soda guy. When he took him on the outside, he just hurled him into Barry Barricade, he hurled him into Timmy the Timekeeper's table. If there was one of our wrestling friends, they were getting murked. Which was doubly true, because the Guns cast distraction, and Juice threw MJF into Simba the Still Steps. No, he didn't. It was Rita the Ring Post. One of the two. I can't remember. My brain is melting. But the thing I'm trying to get across here is that MJF was bleeding. If you went quiet, somebody somewhere was like, so happy. It was John Moxley. I do want to underline, though, that MJF was such a super babyface here, and he had the fans going crazy. And, of course, as soon as Juice was on top, out walked Jay White. He sat down on commentary. He didn't agree at all. He thinks Maxwell is a goober. They also then started to choke each other, which is perfectly normal behaviour, when Friedman hit the kangaroo kick, and you can imagine the reaction. And also, all the way through this, there was a lot of spitting. And I don't think Austin and Cole did like that. They were like, it's too unhygienic, so Maxwell smashed them with a dive, and when he got back in the ring, what did Juice do? Hit him right in the penis. That led to the DDT for a great 1-2-ooh, and this is when the Guns got way too carried away with what they were doing, because it allowed Juice to put on his ring, and MJF put on his ring. They both swung at each other. Maxwell was able to clock him. He hit the heat seeker. 1-2-3. I mean, you knew this was going to happen, but it was the right move to make. The story here was cool as well, because essentially they were trying to out-scumbag each other, and as soon as the Bullet Club jumped in there, the Kingdom came out to make the save. But these numbers do not add up. I called Scott Steiner and made sure. Of course, this is when the Acclaim came out to help MJF because they all want to team with him, which also tied in, because the Guns were like, hey, listen, Max, we want to face you in a Ring of Honor tag team title match, and Friedman accepted, so who the flub is going to be his partner? MJF accepted, of course, but he was also like, I need this 8-man tag so I can beat all of you. And even though the Acclaimed offered their services, and did the Kingdom, the world champion basically said no to all of them. I mean, he's got to find a buddy somewhere. Just to send this totally through the roof as well, Kenny Omega then walked out. I was like, oh my God, there's a Reddit thread come to life. And he was just like, all right, listen, there is a show on Saturday called Collision, and we should have a match. Now, I'm not sure whether it's for a world title or not, but who the flub cares? Kenny Omega versus MJF. I mean, they barely interacted, and over the last week, they've become like super duper enemies. So by the end of it, I was just clapping. I was like, what a terrific start to the show. I've just enjoyed myself, and I have more things to enjoy in a few days' time. I mean, you can't get mad at that. Apart from that one guy, but he's mad at everything. Up. I was also pleased because it meant that Kenny had pulled a GTS, Geese title shot, so that run continues. When we had this great video for Wardlow as well. He was like, I didn't take time off from AEW. I was getting really mad because that idiot MJF screwed me over, and now I'm coming for my revenge. So I was like, Max, you have so many people that want to destroy you. That should be the way, though, because he is the world champion, and if you don't want that title, what are you even doing in this business, kid? When Rob Van Dam returned to the company, I was like, that's it. We're only like 20 minutes in, and this show rules. He was also teaming with Hook, and now that must be a thing, because they've done it a few times. So I'm going to sit here and wait until somebody calls them Van Hook. like a painter. For some reason, they were taking on the Dark Order with Evil Uno waiting on the outside. And once again, this was just such a good time. And the fans were so alive for it. I mean, at one point, they were chanting for RVD, but they were also chanting for Johnny Hungy. Warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. Evil Uno got so worried at one point, he just jumped in the ring with a chair. And the referee was totally fine with this. But of course, we did it so he could get Van terminated. When he came off with the 5-star frog splash. When Hook was there, he applied the red rum, and they got the tap-out victory. And put your hands up, my hand is already up, if you would like Hook and Rob Van Dam to continue to be a team. This stays up, because I said that word. Give it enough. So all of this just made me smile, as did RJ City. Because he was telling us that even though we weren't watching Turner Classic Movies, it was time for the next production by timeless Toni Storm. And she walked in all like, oh, you should roll the picture. And we got another one of these silent movies. And not only is Flipping Luther, of all people, now her butler, but she is going to be getting a world title shot at Full Gear. Now, you just have to go and watch these. Again, they're not to everybody's tastes, but I kind of feel like they were written for me. Love it so much. It's so entertaining because it's so stupid. That's how I like to live my life up. It was Tony Khan's surprise time next. I was very disappointed because it wasn't Repo Man. One day. Tony Schiavone did invite Sting and Darby Allin to the ring though, and Sting was all like, yes, I am retiring, and thank you so much, and thank you Darby Allin, and thank you Tony Schiavone. And I tell you, I have such mixed emotions here. It is awesome. He gets to go out his way. Also, I don't want to miss Sting. He also thanked Tony Khan for making that call 4 years ago, because again, he was able to have this run, when Tone was like, right, let's bring out your present. And of all the things, of all the people, it was Ric Flair. Now, because I'm an absolute idiot, I was on the floor laughing. I was like, does that mean Sting has to like house him and feed him? Because now he's his pet? I mean, he is his gift. If you don't know too, Ric Flair and Sting had an incredible rivalry back in WCW that you should probably still watch. And maybe without the Nature Boy, Sting wouldn't have got to where he did get to, because my word, he passed him the torch and then some. The point is though, as long as Sting is cool with it, he wants to ride by his side until we get to Revolution. And look, I'll be totally honest with you. I thought we could have gone more pro wrestling with this and tied it even more into the story, but go and watch Sting's face during all of it. Even if he did know, the man is so damn happy, so that came out of the screen, and I felt happy too. I did feel like there should have been some spin though, which we got right away, because who interrupted? Because it is professional wrestling. It was Luchasaurus, it was Nick Wayne, and of course, it was Christian Cage. Ruh-roh. Instantly he compared Flair to Weekend at Bernie, so I was like, okay, well, he's not going to hold back. When he also said, listen, the real impressive thing here is that you didn't die 20 years ago. That's what I did. Just shook my head and I pondered to myself, how does he get away with it? He also said that Darby Allin is an idiot because look at his stupid gammy arm, and nobody wants to wait until 2024 until we get rid of Sting. He wants to do it right now. It just means that come Full Gear, he wants to do this 6-man tag, so Sting and Darby Allin are going to have to find a partner. And sure, they can use Ric Flair if they want, but he is just a super kick away from turning into dust. So Christian has some magic powers. I was laughing, again, even though what he says is so damn terrible. Sting accepted after sneezing, and I'm just going to leave that one out there for you to find out for yourself. So we are going to do this at the pay-per-view, and now we must question who will be the third man. Now, it's obvious, but we'll get there later. And I'm such a nerd, I was like, oh, well, Sting's got a relationship with Goldberg. Maybe it's going to be him. It's not Bill. This was just a laugh riot, though, and once again, like something you would read on Reddit, like a little bit was quite awkward. I don't give a flub about that. I was just watching it going, I don't understand how we've arrived at this juncture. But it's why it's amazing that we do have big wrestling companies, otherwise this wouldn't exist at all. Up. Sad times next though, because Chris Jericho was sat here, he was like, yeah, Powerhouse Will Hobbs did kick my ass. I don't think I can get over it. But he cannot remember the last time he got beaten this badly, and as well as hurting his body, it also hurt his ego. It's like, didn't know you could attack that. He does feel like he has to get revenge though, which was basically the theme of this episode of Dynamite. And even though the Don Callis family is quite big, he knows somebody bigger, even bigger than William Hobbs. I thought about it for a while and I was like, it's probably Paul White. Obviously back in WWE, they were Jerry Show. Still the worst name ever. Jericho also insinuated that he was going to give this large human being a call. And look, I kind of thought about it at first. I was like, do I want to see that? But if it does end with Powerhouse Will Hobbs throwing around the Big Show, then yes. Yes, I do. That'd be pretty damn good. Ultimately, though, we have made Powerhouse now feel like a powerhouse, as stupid as that sounds. And he should probably win a title within the next 6 months. up. It was time for our party match next. So go and get your party hats. For it was the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page defending their ROH six-man belts against the Harley Boyz and Brother Zay. I think my big takeaway from this fight is we need to stop forgetting that Isaiah Cassidy is a very, very good pro wrestler. It's also the best that Matt and Jeff Hardy had looked for ages. And of course, you know what the Jacksons and Hangman Adam Page can do. They were all just bipping, bopping around during the whole thing, with Matt Jackson obsessed with the Northern Light suplex. I respect his dedication to the cause. All of it did lead to the big hot tag for the Cowboy, and I actually pondered to myself, I wonder if one day we can do the hot tag and he does it on a horse. Because, he is a boy of the cows. I don't know what I'm talking about. He also hit the ultimate comeback move of 2023, the crossbody, before he absolutely wrecked Zay with this DDT. Got a 1-2-ooh. Even though he was able to dive around the place to prove his agility, eventually he did get hit with the buckshot, and he got hit with the BTE trigger, and the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page got the 1-2-3. But their day was about to get very, very bad. So we cut to the big screen, where it turned out that Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana had gone to Adam Page's humble abode. Now, Hangman Adam Page then decided to run to the back, which is what you would do, but bro, I don't think you're going to get there in time. They're already there. Swerve also started to rip up pictures of his kids while Nana ate some strawberries, and that made me chuckle when they even went into Page's kid's bedroom and Strickland left some merchandise on the crib. Now, that may sound a little bit silly, but he played this so intensely and so creepy. Once again, we just have to get on the horn and shout out the fact that Swerve Strickland is a flipping great pro wrestler, and he still has loads more to give. Prince Nana then got a little bit worried. He was like, man, I think we should leave, so they did do. But not only has this upped that feud, not only are they going to have some crazy stipulation match because you can feel it in the air, but I tell you, you just need to watch it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Swerve absolutely needs to be the champion in 2024. Guy just has something. Give it an up. I also want to put it out there too, because let's not forget, aren't the Young Bucks meant to be having an AEW tag team title shot at their choosing? I mean, I get it, we can get there whenever we do get there, but I want to put it back into the ether. Renee was then back after this. This is when I facepalmed and I was like, man, how did I not think of it? Because she was chatting to Adam Copeland when in walked Darby Allin and Sting. I was like, of course the third guy is Adam Copeland. I mean, what were you thinking about? Darby tried to tell Adam as well, look, you can't trust this Christian guy, he's not the person you think he is. When Sting took over and flubbed me sideways, he cut this properly rousing speech. If you'd break it right down, it was basically, yeah, Darby's right, you can't trust Cage, but you should team with us. So of course that's what we're going to do, and it also means before the Icon retires, Adam Copeland gets to team with him, which is just a massive tick box. Also, if you do want to be a silly Billy, it means Sting and Edge are going to team up, which could be the guy from the Police as well as you two. Still, this was a nice little rumble. Once again, that doesn't make any sense. I'm so tired. When Ruby Soho lost another title match. I mean, this is becoming a thing. Maybe she needs to go crazy and become a 1920s Hollywood actress. It's worked before. Now I laugh because Shida hit the ultimate comeback move of 2023, the crossbody, almost instantly, so don't come into my house and tell me this isn't true. And she also connected with the 10 punches in the corner. Give me those 1980s moves. Ruby then got mad and hit the no future off the apron, which is when Shida went for another crossbody, ultimate comeback move, when we had the strangest Eddie Guerrero spot we've seen for a while. Now, I will do my best here, so bear with me. Because Ruby Soho ripped off the pad, exposing Tina the turnbuckle, which is when the referee had to go and sort it out. So Ruby got the spray paint can, she threw it into Shida's arms, so that when the ref turned around, Ruby was on the floor going, oh, I got sprayed in the eyes. Now, even though the ref went to get rid of this, Soho then went to get the World Championship and charged at Shida, which would have been a DQ, because Aubrey Edwards was right there, when Shida sprayed the belt and then got really sad that she'd done this and just totally forgot that Ruby Soho was her opponent. I mean, she turned her back. Now, that did lead to the destination unknown. I was like, there's no way that can be 1, 2, 3, because it would be totally wild. And instead, Ruby Soho, of course, learnt that you shouldn't be a dick in wrestling. She charged at Shida, Shida moved, she hit Tina the turnbuckle, who was exposed, we've talked about it, big old knee, 1, 2, 3. It rhymed. We did get straight to our next feud as well, though, because all of a sudden it went black and white, and here came RJ City, Timeless Tony Storm, and Luther, and I just love this act. I know I've talked about it, but I'm going to talk about it again. I mean, the fact it does go black and white, and everyone responds going, what the flub is happening? It's just goofy wrestling for life. I would absolutely give her the championship as well, probably forever, because she is timeless. So look, the match was fine. I'm going to give it an up. And that up also ties into the fact that Toni Storm made me laugh here. But look, even I thought that spot in the middle of the match was a little bit too much. But I do respect that they were trying to do something new. They were trying to do something different. And given that we do have 52,790 hours of wrestling on television, I will always be behind this. But I'll also be honest too, it's got to get it down. MJF's gauntlet of death then continued after this. Shit, Ray Paquette was asking him about this when Samoa Joe walked in. And I was like, that is it, Max. You're going to get killed. I mean, he had basically pressed start to become a new challenger, but actually, here's his plan. He knows that Maxwell Jacob Friedman needs a tag team partner. He will be that tag team partner on one condition. When they're done, he gets his rematch for the world title. Bam. I think MJF was happy for this as well because they do respect each other. So yeah, have to keep an eye on this one. But I tell you, it's got me intrigued. I am going to repeat that I just love the fact that all these people are coming for MJF. And talking about loving something, we got to our main event. And it was totally wild. Because it was Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castignoli taking on Orange Cassidy and Okada. Once again, even though I keep saying it, in what other universe did we ever expect this to happen? It also meant that we got Bryan versus Okada part 2, but not too much, because we need the proper match down the line. You got Claudio versus Okada, which is a match I need desperately, and you had Okada and Orange Cassidy teaming together when we kept doing funny things with the camera, which also made me chuckle. And also, while we are here, it was so cool to see the piece of fruit in this match. He totally held his own, and he's a top star. What you need to know is that at one point Okada hit a drop toe hold, and this crowd reacted like he just won the IWGP Championship, when Orange Cassidy did the worst best splash you've ever seen, and it was totally on purpose. Danielson and Okada then got in there, and they looked at each other. Once again, people just like, yeah, where they properly got into it, and Bryan was trying to break his arm, because once again, he wanted revenge. They then started going for and missing finishes when they just ran at each other and collided so hard. I was like, well, I didn't expect that. It's not even Saturday. Castignoli then went for the giant swing, but instead got Stun Dog Millionaired and DDT'd for a great 1-2-ooh. But when Orange jumped at him again, he caught him in midair and gave him the big swing. So we need to give Castignoli his flowers, man. As good as we may think he is better. Okada made sure to break up that 1-2-ooh, and this is when we did get all the fun camera stuff as Orange Cassidy and Okada hugged. Once again, I was like, they're embracing now. When we got the Orange Punch Rainmaker combo, and I thought that's got to be it. Claudio broke it up at 2. Look at me, I broke my back. Of all the dudes in this match, though, it was Castignoli that had taken the most powerful Phoenix down, because he got back up, he ruined Cassidy with his Sagat uppercut, like I thought his head was going to come off, and he pinned him for the 1-2-3. So instantly the commentators were like, well, next week we have to do this international title match. I was like, man, that is good booking. Up. You have to go and see it. It rules. And the interesting part is that we ended this week's Dynamite with Bryan Danielson really selling his injuries. Look, fair play to him. I have totally been worked by this. I mean, the BCC were there, as were a bunch of referees, and everybody looked concerned, as did the crowd. They didn't really know what was going on. The best friends were here for Orange Cassidy too, so I suppose we're building something. And as of right now, I don't know whether it's real or whether it is a story. So, you know, just to err on the side of caution, I really hope he's okay. He is the best wrestler of all time. Which did indeed bring us to the end of Dynamite, and it was a fabulous show with a main event that you could have put on pay-per-view and nobody would have minded. I'm just so happy for all these guys as well. I'm such a loser. Especially Orange Cassidy. When he got signed, there was that contingent like, meh, this is the worst thing ever. Well, actually, it's turned out to be the best. Getting an overall up. Now please do leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of Dynamite. Like the video, share the video and subscribe. Click the video right there for ups and downs for NXT. That's right, it is back. Stay in touch with all of wrestling. WhatCulture.com, social media. Just have a great day. Do it for your Uncle Simon. It's very creepy. Goodbye.